I didn't see Zerg GG. Zerg won the game. So, yes, Zerg did not GG. You're correct. And here we go. We're getting into our fresh series here, into our third series of the night, the winners match. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the blue Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg, representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brood War Terran player, the red Terran from the land of the Netherlands, living in Mexico. It is uThermal. We go. Here we go, as we are going to be settling in. And we do have uThermal, oh my, opening up 2 racks. It is not uncommon for Brood War Terran players to go for a delayed CC, especially on a 2-player spawn map, so this makes sense. uThermal was opening up 2 racks, going for a delayed command center to make sure he is safe and sound, especially against a player like Dark, especially against SC2 Dark. Dark is hyper aggressive. He's known for Lin Queen Nidus all-ins, Roach Queen all-ins as well, whether it's with German taxis, whether it's with Nidus worms, Bane bus as well, early spawning pool into early Roach Warren. It's Dark, he's an animal. He is an animal, but he's also known for this. Do you see what I see? I see a fast third. I see no gas. This is a very greedy gasless build. So Dark is going gasless. You can get away with this on smaller maps like ley lines. I say smaller maps, I should emphasize more defensive maps. You can get away with this on more defensive maps. What I mean by that is that on ley lines, you have a very narrow ramp coming in towards the triangular third. Likewise, a narrow ramp coming into the forward third base as well. On top of that, high ground. High ground advantage. It is not uncommon, or it is a little bit easier to get away with purely queen defense against units like vultures and hellions. So a very greedy build here by Dark. This usually leads into a Roach Warren with delayed link speed for a Roach Queen defense. Meanwhile, I assumed this was going to be 2 racks into a CC. This is not. And Dark has yet to confirm. This looks like a 1-base all-in. Looks like a 1-base all-in. We're rushing into stim, into bioproduction, and uThermal may pull the boys with this. He might decide to pull the boys and go for a full all-in. We'll see. SV comes down to low ground. Interesting. uThermal looks like he is going to expand, but this is a very late expansion for uThermal. This puts a lot of pressure on him. This means that this sim timing needs to pay off. This needs to get damage done, otherwise he's just going to fall behind, especially against the gasless opener of Dark. The Marines are revealed, the medics are revealed more importantly, so now Dark knows. Now Dark knows this is a stim timing. Back at home, Spinecrawler. Spinecrawler, Queens are amassing, Roach Warren gets placed down. No link speed. Remember, no link speed. Gases were late for Dark, so he has to defend with purely Queens, Spinecrawlers, and slow links. uThermal, he can get damage done. He can punish the greed of Dark. He can, but will he? Ooh, he doesn't know. uThermal, he doesn't know about the third base. Oh, he's pushing towards the natural. He could be denying the third right now, but I mean, he might just want to go for queen kills anyway. There we go. Now he knows. Now he confirms, and now he's going for the hatchery. There's the first stim. Catching some of the larva. Queens are moving forward. Up! uThermal, he does threaten a dive. Spinecrawler moving forward as well. There's the second stim. Queens holding their own. One queen goes down. A bit of his control there by Dark. He doesn't pull back in time. One queen does fall, but it looks like Dark, he is holding. He bleeds out a lot of links. Spinecrawler a little bit too far behind. And there's a third stim. And again, because these early medics, they can maintain themselves. Another queen getting low this time. Dark does pull back in time. The Lings, they come in for a surround, but it looks like uThermal, he has enough. He breaks through, takes out the spine, takes out the Lings, takes out every single queen as well. And uThermal, he has done it. He has broken the third base. Dark is getting into Roach production. The Roaches may be able to hold on to the natural, but not the third. And I spoke earlier that the pressure was on uThermal to get damage done because of the late expansion, and he does it. He does more than enough. He dives on the Roaches as well. Can he keep going? Can he go for the kill? He might be able to. Yeah, he might be able to. The medic is out of energy, unfortunately, so there's very little sustain left for the army. But uThermal, he is pulling this off. Takes down 2 more Overlords. Sims on top of the Roaches. And Dark, he was being cheeky. He was being greedy here, going gasless, and he gets punished. He gets punished very hard. And it looks like this may just be game. I was expecting a short game, and I'll be honest, a short series, but GG gets called as uThermal. He pops off. He takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very aggressive build there by uThermal. Borderline all in because he had to do some critical damage because of how delayed the rest of his economy was. And again, everything lined up in favor of him just because of the greedy build of Dark, because he did open up gases, because he was droning as well. He had limited units here to defend, only 3 queens, lings, the Roach Warren was delayed as well. It all worked in favor of uThermal. Likewise, he did have a little bit of miscontrol when it came to Dark, when it came to losing that first queen. That does mean that he missed out on a transfuse. There could have been a transfuse available there to save the spine crawler, and maybe that would have been enough. Hard to say. Regardless, we are now jumping into game number 2. Now, as a reminder, loser's pick. It is loser's pick, so Dark, it is his choice to make, and his choice, as to no surprise, is to keep on going with SC2 Zerg. Here we go. Here we go. That's crazy stim timing due to the medics. Yes, we have spoken about stim timings before. We spoke about it in TVP especially because 3 Raxes in TVP and 2-1-1s in TVZ hit so much faster for Brood War because, as you mentioned, you don't have to wait for the starport to get support for your army. You know, medics, they're made from Raxes, so the medic support is so fast, which means you have more stims available. Usually in SE2, 2-1-1s, or 2 Raxes, or 3 Raxes, or 4 Raxes, every stim hurts because you have no medivacs. When it comes to Brood War, you have medics, so you can stim so much more freely, so much more carelessly as well. You can just stim to your heart's content by, it's crazy. But here we go, we're getting into game number 2 and spawning. Oh, I should fix this up. There we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the red Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg representing Talon Esports down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. The blue Terran the brutal Terran, picking his own race, of course, from the land of the Netherlands, living in the land of Mexico. It is uThermal. uThermal. Once again, 2 racks. It is going to be a 2 racks opener out of uThermal. Now, is this the same build? Do we go 2 racks into an academy, into a fast stim push? It's possible, or this could just be 2 racks into an expand. If you remember, I just assumed, if you recall, I was like, oh yeah, 2 racks Marine does make sense. We see this all the time, into a CC behind it just to be safe. That's what I assumed was going to be happening in game 1. I'm also assuming that's happening here in game 2. I'm assuming that uThermal is working toward... No, never mind. Same build. Never mind. Same build. Fast Academy. Fast stim. It is going to be a 2 racks stim timing here from uThermal. Very aggressive, very committed. Last game and end of the game, we'll see if he can achieve as much success. As the Overlord does confirm the Raxes, but this doesn't tell the entire story here. Ooh, as the Rax does lift, and the Overlord is going to be hunted down. Now, back at home, more importantly, standard opener. Hatch gas pool. Remember, last game it was gasless. Last game it was a gasless opener from Dark. This time, standard hatch gas pool. This, though, is not standard. Do you see what I see? Gas mining. Very uncommon here to mine additional... Okay, there we go. He pulls away. Very uncommon to mine extra gas, so it looks like that was a mistake. Looks like Dark, he accidentally mined extra gases, so a bit of an inefficient build here from Dark. He has to bring it back, he has to bring it home, he has to tighten things up here if he wants to survive his opponent, but he could still go for an earlier Roach Warren. Regardless, at least Dark will have queens, and this time speedlings. Okay. Oh, he pulls back in. Okay, this is intentional. He pulls back in. Now, with early gas mining like this, I'm leaning towards roaches. I'm leaning towards early roach production. I imagine that's what is going to be worked upon. Meanwhile, uThermal, he's mixing it up. He's going for not just Marines and a medic, he's going for fire bats as well. Interesting. Going for fire bats. Now, I assume this is going to be for roach defense. That is not the case. It is going to be further tech. It's going to be for Baneling defense. So it's going to be Ling Bane here from Dark. Now, the plus side is that this means that Banelings are going to be online faster. Roaches take longer. Roaches, they take longer to produce. They take longer to defend. So this is going to be a much faster defense here. Faster setup, I should say, from Dark. as Bailings should soon be morphing in. Meanwhile, uThermal is getting ready. Lings, they do slip into the natural. Oh my god. They slip in, they delay the expansion. Nice pick off there by Dark. Is aware that there is an expansion moving out with those Lings. uThermal, he's racing back. Is racing back home. And it looks like uThermal, upon seeing Ling speed, remember, uThermal, he hasn't seen anything. He confirms no fast third. No fast third base, so uThermal, he retreats. Basically, what just happened is uThermal, he scouted enough to confirm that Dark did not go gasless. And upon recognizing that Dark opened up with a faster gas geyser, whether there's Bailings or Roaches to defend, uThermal immediately backs off. So he knows like the limitations of his build and of what he can achieve against Dark. He's respecting Dark quite a lot. Despite respecting him though, can he deal with the army? As Dark, he does move out, he does bypass the main force here of uThermal, hits the natural. And uThermal, does he respond? Oh. He doesn't. He commits. Is committing, and Bailey's going to be knocking down that depot. Depot gets crushed, and Dark floods in. He floods into the natural. Meanwhile, uThermal, he's all in. He's completely all in. There are some queens, no spine cooler to defend. Means they wreak havoc in the natural. They bust into the main. Oh, not the best Bailing connection. SCVs are still going down. At the same time, queens are falling. The Bailing. Nice target firing. Ooh, he targets one, but not the other. And it looks like uThermal is running out of steam here. He's down to 4 Marines. That's not going to be a lot to work with. Clutch transfuse, queens, they hold their own. Ling reinforcements have arrived. SCVs are going down, and Dark, he's holding. He is holding on from 4 Marines down to 3. And GG gets called. Dark ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. I appreciate that uThermal, he did adjust his build after scouting, but it was still the same build, and this time, Dark adapts. He adapts, he does punish, counterattacks, and does shut uThermal down. Whew, GG. GG, well played. This is also why, personally, I'm not too fond of going for the same build 2 games in a row, even if it works. A player like Dark is a player of the caliber that they are able to adapt, able to respond, and able to react to what it is you're doing. So, uThermal, he gets punished for going for a very similar build, and now we're going to the ace match. We're going to the ace match, and I'm hoping that uThermal goes something different. I'm hoping that we see a different build, and I'm sure we will as we are loading into a 4-player spawn map. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into our next game, and once again, interesting. So, because uThermal just lost this game, it's his pick. It is uThermal's race pick here, or I should say version pick, and he is committing to Brood War Terran. He has chosen not to switch to SC2, and that means that, I mean, once again, Dark, he plays his main race. Bold move by uThermal, and here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Citadel. We have the blue Brood War Terran player from the Netherlands, living in the land of Mexico. It is uThermal. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg from South Korea, the SC2 Zerg once again, 3 games in a row. It is Dark. Here we go. As welcome once again to Citadel. This is a 4-player spawn map. Dark, his first Overlord, gets sent towards the south, so Dark is going to get a faster scout of what is going on. And uThermal, he's still a little bit in the dark here. Ooh. CC first? It looks to be the case. Okay, so I was hoping for a different build. I was hoping for a different opener. And finally, we get it. And this makes the most sense. It is CC first by uThermal. On the one hand, very greedy build here by uThermal, but it is because we are on a 4-player spawn map. The likelihood of Dark opening up pool first or gas first is very low chance of that happening. So uThermal, he takes a chance and he opens up in a greedy fashion, and he should get away with it. Dark, standard opener, hatch gas pool. I would say that this would be a good map for Dark to go gasless. Actually, never mind. I was going to say this would be a good map for it, but I do think that there are maybe too many attack paths, and the bases are spread out. I think it would be awkward to defend with purely Queen. So, yeah, I stand by hatch gas pool. Standard safe opener out of Dark. Meanwhile, uThermal being greedy. CC first into a 3 racks follow-up. This is much more standard. much more standard play here by uThermal. Overlord does confirm, and I believe because this Rax isn't finished and because of the high ground here that is avoiding any kind of additional vision, I believe uThermal does not see the Overlord. So Dark saw uThermal, uThermal did not see Dark. So uThermal scouting. uThermal, he's looking for the base location of his opponent. Dark already knows. And we can see uThermal going for the cross scout. Going for the cross spawn scout here. Meanwhile, behind this, 3 racks into stim. 3 racks stim here from uThermal. It's going to be a later stim timing with later medevacs because of the faster command center. But very bio-heavy nonetheless. Very bio-heavy. As Dark is going for his third. Things they get across the map. Nibbling away at the SCVs. Just being a bit of a nuisance. Not doing any critical damage here. As the Lings are shut down. Are going to be shut down. Building up more Marines. And once uThermal pieces it all together, there we go. He does scout. Does scout with the SCV. Does now confirm the location of Dark. Is aware. And this is going to be a very strong move out here with Stim. But as a reminder, this is going to be later. So I would say the likelihood of this being as impactful is going to be a little bit lower here. So we might be able to embrace a longer game state. Oh, that is a 4th Rax. Okay. That I was not quite expecting. 4th Rax has been thrown down. If uThermal throws down a 5th Rax, I'm gonna say 2 base all in. There we go. 5th Rax is on the way. Okay, uThermal, no 3rd CC in sight. Just Mass Marine, Mass Medic. uThermal is committing here on 2 bases. On top of that, what will favor him when it comes to this all in, Dark is close spawn. He has a close spawn here with the vertical spawn instead of cross spawn, which means this is going to hit harder. Reinforcements, they do get across the map that much faster as well. And uThermal, he's going for it. At the same time, ooh, Lings, they slip in. Lings, they slip into the natural. They get 1 SCV kill. uThermal, he should be able to defend. And he still commits. Back at home, what does Dark have? Roaches on the way, but they're not ready. 10 Roaches are in production, but Dark, he needs them here and now. And uThermal, he's already knocking down that front door. Never mind, he doesn't go for the natural, he goes for the 3rd. I think he could have done damage though. I think he could, if he had gone for the natural, I think he could have caught the queens. But alas, he does rotate it around instead. Does rotate to the 3rd, distracted by the Lings, and Dark's holding. Dark is holding, and you know what? Do you see what I see? No drones. Dark is going for his own all-in, and I think uThermal just saw that. When he poked in, I believe uThermal saw no saturation. No saturation at the 3rd base, so uThermal, he's racing back home. He's realizing that his all-in might not work because Dark is all-inning. The all-in versus everyone's all-in. Let's go. As Dark is pushing, uThermal has to get the hell out of here. He cannot get surrounded. He's racing back home. It's going to be Ling Ravager for Dark. What does uThermal have? Now, because of uThermal's build, no tanks. No defensive tanks, no defensive spider mines, 0 factory production. CC is now on the way. Bold move here by uThermal. We'll see if he can hold. We'll see if he can survive because here comes the Roach Ravager. Well, the Ravager Ling even. Oh! Ooh, big connection here on the medics. Sims in. Gets a Ravager. Gets 1. Ling's gonna be engaging. Nice spread here by uThermal. Does avoid the piles. Oh my god, he avoids the piles. He shuts down the Ravagers as well. A very nice moves here by uThermal, but Ling reinforcements have arrived. So far, a better trade for the Terran. Yeah, much better trade. He does punish the aggression of Dark, and Dark, he's gonna lose everything. The Lings, the Roaches, the Ravagers. Ooh, does take another bounce to the face. But it's a very nice cleanup here by uThermal. Alas, he doesn't really have too many reinforcements, so he's running out of steam a little bit here. Remember, he is expanding, is getting another CC. He's still pushing in. And Dark is in trouble. Dark, he's down in workers. The all-in failed. And Dark, he has almost nothing to defend. No Banelings, no Ravagers. Roach goes down, and this may just end the game. Gets 1, gets 2 Roaches. The Queens are falling as well. No Transfuse, and uThermal is snowballing out of control. Oh my god. It wasn't the longer series that I wanted, what I will say. Very short games here, both Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3. But uThermal, does he have enough? Oh, he's running out of Marines. He's running out of Marines. It's mainly medics here. Roaches are coming in to reinforce Dark. Can he barely hold on? Nah, the reinforcements. Reinforcements have arrived. uThermal, he's done it. He has done it. He has broken the back of Dark. as Dark is barely trying to hold on. Behind this uThermal, he's on a 58 SCVs. Remember, he's now got a third base. He's landing on location, doesn't even need the third. But now he's getting into the mineral lines. Again, barely maintaining himself. And these are losses that Dark cannot afford. Losing 9 drones at the natural. And again, pure Roach, Vanilla Roach cannot keep up with this army. GG gets called, and uThermal Salsa Tequila will take the series 2-1, becoming the first player to make it through Group D. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Coming into this group, I was uncertain. I was uncertain of the state of play of uThermal. If you remember, I was saying how I haven't seen uThermal compete in SEL. I know that he's been playing custom games, but I don't know what his form is looking like. And clearly, he has a lot of specialized builds. A lot of specialized builds here that he was able to flex against Dark. No mid game, no late game between him and Dark. To be fair, Dark wasn't really one to embrace that kind of game state either. And I do think it was a really, really critical moment in this last game where uThermal turned around. If you remember, when uThermal realized that Dark was going all in, when he realized that there was no saturation at the third base, it was so important that he raced back home, because in that moment, if Dark had surrounded that army with Lings and locked it down with his Roach Ravager, Dark would have won. Dark would have won the game then and there. uThermal, he had to get out of there. He had to get out. He had to race back home. He built up a greater army, and then he was able to fight on his terms. He was able to fight with his back against his depots and bunkers, so he could not get surrounded, shut down the Lings, shut down the Roaches, the Ravagers. A much better engagement there by uThermal that otherwise could have happened in the center of the map, and from there, he snowballed out of control. So very nice response there by uThermal, given the game state. Likewise, Dark caught with his pants down a little bit surprised with just how well the Bio Army can trade against the forces of, you know, the Ling Ravager, and GG. GG, well played. uThermal was the first player to make it through into the playoffs from Group D. And now we have to determine who else makes it through the group stage. Oh boy. Who is next? As we switch our scenes over for a moment to have a look at the bracket itself, or the group. Let us catch up together here. And here we go. We have uThermal. uThermal takes down Homono 2-1, takes down Dark 2-1 as well. These were not easy games. They all went to the ace match. So, I mean, again, Homono and Dark, they did both threaten uThermal, but again, Mark, uThermal, does make it through in first. And up next, we have the elimination match. We have a best of 3 between Ateshi and Homono. The loser of that series will be eliminated from the tournament, will be eliminated from SEL, and the winner will advance on against Dark in that decider match. So 2 best of 3s remaining. We have 3 players left here, and only 1 can make it through into the main event. Oh boy, we'll see who it's going to be. For now, we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break here. When we return, we will have our next series. We'll have the elimination match. See you guys after the break. See you soon. See you soon. Ciao.